this way. All right.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, rock.
Oh.
Rock, paper, scissors, rock.
Scissors.
Paper, scissors, rock. All right. Welcome to another episode of the PK Podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Logan.
And let's get underway. So what should be the first... I was told not to hit the table. What should be the first order of business? We have a milestone that was just passed recently.
Okay.
Alex Ovechkin gets his 600th goal of his NHL career.
That is a mighty, mighty impressive feat.
Correct.
For Mr. Ovechkin.
Youngest to score 600 goals in NHL history. Wayne Gretzky, the great one, scored his 600th goal. Guess how old he was?
He was 38.
27.
Okay.
All right, next up, Mario Lemieux.
Okay, he was like 31.
Very good. And Alex Ovechkin, 32.
32? I mean, he's up there with...
in his 990th game.
So in 10 games, he's going to have another milestone.
Yes.
1,000 NHL games.
You're right, yeah. Some good math. So right now he leads the NHL with 42 goals in 69 games for 74 points. So that means he has 32 assists. Definitely, we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but I wanted to get into the Hart Trophy race. He is definitely on that list for potential candidates. Do you know who leads or who is in second place behind Ovechkin?
I do not.
All right, how about go like this? All right, go top five. Who do you think the top five goal scorers are in the league are right now?
Ovechkin, McDavid, Crosby, Kucherov, and Marchand.
Okay.
How many was that? 4 or 5? I don't know.
It doesn't matter. All right, so Ovechkin.
Okay.
Patrick Laine.
Ooh.
With 41. He's one goal behind.
He passed. He had a milestone recently. He was the youngest, he has more goals as a teen than. Am I talking crazy? Have you heard
I believe
this?
you.
Okay.
He actually scored 15 goals in his last 11 games. That is a lot of goals. So Evgeny Malkin is next with 39. Fifth is Tyler Seguin with 36. Guess who's fourth?
Brad Marchand.
No.
I thought he was doing pretty good.
No.
I thought I saw that.
You'll never get this one.
He's not on the Hawks.
No, he's in the Western Conference, though. I'll give you that one.
No idea.
Eric Stahl has 37 goals in 69 games this year. 68 points. He's 1 point away from being a point-a-game player.
Whoa.
Are you kidding me? I don't know who he's playing with, but that is unreal. I'm going to look at the lines. Minnesota Wild lines right now to see what they're doing. In the meantime, talk about something.
Well, to go back to Patrick Laine, he has more goals. He is in third right now for most goals as a teenager ever. He just surpassed Wayne Gretzky and Brian Bellows as most goals as a teenager. So he has 77. Wayne Gretzky had 76. Brian Bellows also had 76. And then Dale Hawerchuk and Jimmy Carson are above him with 85 and 92 goals as a teenager. But wow, he is just on fire right now.
All right, so Eric Stahl is playing with Jason Zucker and Michael Granlund.
That's nothing special.
Jason Zucker is a good player.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'll give you that.
But the fact that Eric Stahl has 37 goals or something like that is unreal. Which moves me into my next point. The Hart Trophy race. So if you had to pick, say, your top three right now, who are you going with? Or five. Go with 5.
Okay. I think Ovechkin's up there.
Okay.
Obviously.
Right.
I don't even know. It's
go 3. Go. So yeah, Ovechkin,
Malkin's doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I can see him or McDavid.
Okay. All right.
And maybe throw Crosby in there too, because
Crosby, yeah. Okay.
He's Crosby.
So Ovechkin leading the league in goals. Always is. He's always up there for the Hart.
Oh yeah.
Next one, my top candidate is Nikita Kucherov.
Yes.
Point per game, or he's got like 88 points or something like that. He's leading the league in points. Has been the entire year. He's having a fantastic year.
He's ridiculous.
Yes. He's on a phenomenal contract, which we'll talk about contracts a little bit later. But one of the best bang for your buck players right now in the NHL. Next on my list, I have Taylor Hall. His 26 game point streak was recently snapped, which is as long as Patrick Kane. I think it might have been the quietest point streak I've never seen.
Yeah.
Because with Patrick Kane, since we're Hawks fans, we watched from beginning to end.
Yes.
That whole streak and how the roller coaster ups and downs, like scoring 4 goals or like getting 4 points a night to barely getting an empty net goal in the end. But I mean, he had a fantastic streak.
I saw. Speaking of that, I saw a meme on like one of the things I follow on Instagram, and
it was like, pop it up right here?
Yeah, we should pop it up right there. Right. But it was like in the top square. It was Patrick Kane scores 26 game point streak, and like everybody's going bananas, and then Taylor Hall does it, and he's like, "Hand me my beer," because he's just like nobody like expected that from him.
No. You can't. Again, New Jersey's kind of a smaller market, so you don't really hear a lot from him. But I mean, he's having a great year. I don't know what his points during that streak were, how many he had compared to Patrick Kane, but I mean, still a fantastic stretch by him. And then my third candidate is Nathan MacKinnon. Who we saw live.
Who we did see live. We can move right into that then.
Yeah. Then followed McDavid's the other one on that list because he's having a great year too. Actually, I put the stats right here. Let's go right there. Kucherov is leading the league. Malkin actually second. So Kucherov's got 88 points, followed by Malkin 87, McDavid 84, MacKinnon 81 in 60 games. He's played 9 less games than Kucherov and is only 7 points back. On a team that's arguably, well, not arguably, but is not as good as the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's all him.
You're talking about the Avalanche?
Yes.
And they had a rocky start to the year.
Yes, they did.
They had I think they went 0-9, was it?
I do not know.
It was really bad. That's all I remember. And everybody's like, oh man, and now they're sitting in a playoff spot, which at the beginning of the year, nobody thought that's what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. It looks like they're contending for a wild card spot right now. So the fact that he's hit himself is able to put that team up to a possible playoff team really says something about how good his play has been this year. And you saw it when we went to the game. They played Hawks versus Avalanche. Hawks pulled out the 2-1 win in overtime thanks to Jonathan Taves.
That was mostly Patrick Kane there with the Dishmaster.
Or it was basically the puck, the face-off.
Yes.
So really it comes back to the referee because it was such a good puck.
Clearly the referee won them that game.
Okay, let's go into the game. So we moved on from the Hart. Let's go into the Blackhawks game. So let's start from the beginning. Hawks Avalanche. We were right by the players' bench as soon as they walked for warm-ups. The Avalanche. We were maybe a foot away from
Nathan MacKinnon. Yes.
And everybody else on that team.
It's basically Nathan MacKinnon and then the rest of them.
Yeah. Well, you know what's kind of weird? When you're up against these players, like face to face, I can't tell them apart from anybody else. Granted, I don't know a lot of guys on the Avalanche, but if I was on the Hawks side, I would be able to pick out, all right, there's DeBrincat. You could just tell by their face. All these guys had no idea they all look the same.
Yes.
Mikko Rantanen's very tall.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
Yes.
So we went from there. Then we went up to the 300 level. Is where we sat, 324, I believe.
320.
Yes. Game started off a little disappointing. Jim Cornelison didn't do the national anthem. He was sick.
Never a good thing. Never a good way to start a game.
But that was the only L we took last night, or that night. So you go into what happened during the first period.
Let's pull this up here.
I remember. Let's see if you remember.
The Blackhawks scored.
They came out swinging.
They came out swinging.
Fast. They were in our end.
It was
the ice
Eric Gustafsson.
Yes, I could have sworn Patrick Kane.
I thought for sure it was Patrick
From
Kane.
where we were at, Gustafsson threw it on net, redirected off of somebody's skate.
The defender's skate.
But you saw
it was.
we were on the side where we saw Patrick Kane do his
follow through
the pass, and it went right in at that angle. So I'm like, oh man, Patrick Kane just tapped that thing in. It was so fast. But we were wrong. So after we gave Eric Gustafsson a hard time, he has played extremely well, scored 2 goals in his last 2 games, not counting the last couple ones in Boston. I don't know. I haven't been in town, so I haven't been able to watch. But they came out good.
Yes, they came out swinging hard against a team that is above them in the standings.
Yes.
So
well, most teams are.
Yes.
But yeah, they had a great first period. Let's see what else happened.
Speaking of Nathan McKinnon, on their power play, the Avalanche power play,
like second period, something like that.
Yes, is
this is the second period because I remember.
Yes, because they were going towards.
They were on our side. The Hawks really dictated play pretty much the entire first period, except for a couple shifts.
Yes.
We move into the second period, which was just a snooze fest. So talk about the power play.
And their power, I mean, they set them up in the push and back entry, just like the Hawks. Not as bad as the Hawks, but, you know.
Doesn't every team do the push and back entry?
Yes, but
the Avalanche do it a lot better.
Yes, the Avalanche do it a lot better. Drop back to Nathan McKinnon, let him skate it in.
The million miles an hour.
At, 500,000 miles an hour. He scored their only goal.
Yeah, they did.
He scored their only goal. Was that on the power play? I don't know.
It was. It was passed right to him. He was on the hash marks right over by the dot and just potted it. And beautiful goal.
Yes, but the Blackhawks power play, or the Blackhawks penalty kill, I should say, is
abysmal.
It's abysmal.
It's average, but it hasn't been good lately.
They set up in the box.
Yes.
Right, and they let the guy on the Colorado stand right in front of the goalie.
Yeah, they're very.
He can't stand there.
Very passive.
It's a very, very passive penalty kill, and it's just pathetic. And then leading into that, when the Hawks are on the power play, Colorado had such a high pressure, high intensity penalty kill. The high pressure, the Hawks couldn't do anything because they couldn't set up, they couldn't give it to Patrick Kane. It was just not good.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of bad penalty kill, I do believe the Hawks, not most recent game, the game before that, they played Boston. Mm-hmm. They gave up 4 power play goals in the 7-4 loss. And a shorthanded goal on the power play.
Yes, I do remember that. But that just shows how their special teams right now are not doing too hot.
Right. Let's get in. We can get into the the things that we saw during the game.
Yes.
Right after we go through the analysis. We had a goal disallowed by the referees. Good call. We didn't. I thought, because I know they now show the replays of what they're, replaying on the jumbotron, but the United Center jumbotron isn't as good as some of the other teams, nor is it as good as the TV I have in my house.
This is also true.
So.
And it's very far away.
Yes, I wasn't able to see a distinct kicking motion because of how far away I was. But after coming home and seeing it, you definitely see his Saad's skate, kick it in. I believe redirects off the goalie and into the net. People say it touched his stick. Regardless if it touches his stick, though,
it was
from an officiating standpoint. Logan hit him with the rule.
It was propelled directly into the net with a distinct kicking motion, regardless if it touches the stick or not.
So yeah, regardless if it touches a stick, pad, player, glove, foot, whatever. Official. No. If it goes off the official and into the net, it's no goal.
But it wouldn't have been a goal anyway because he kicked it.
True. So the puck cannot be propelled in to the net
With a distinct kicking motion.
Yes. If he were to kick it to his stick and then he propelled it and gave it, motion.
Yes.
Then it's a goal. But it cannot just deflect off of
a
player.
stick.
Yes. Or a goalie pad.
Because it was still propelled by the kicking motion.
Yes.
Okay.
Same thing goes for... It seems it always happens to the Hawks, Headbutts, kicks, punches. I mean...
Yes.
The Hawks find that, just that one little, nuance to the rule that's in there just because it's there.
Yes.
Well,
speaking of kicking, I was at the Central States Championship the other day, and there was a goal disallowed because of a distinct kicking motion.
I had a goal disallowed in my game, or I disallowed a goal in my game because the player was standing in the crease. I gave it about 10 washouts, and then the overtime goal I gave about 12.
It was this Game 7 Stanley Cup. You're basically sitting on your heels.
About 12 pumps. Yeah, about 12 pumps. Or I want you to flash the video or the picture on the screen. I could have been up on the net, like the official up over the net. Yeah, in the Olympics.
You need to get that good angle.
Yeah, they teach you that.
You need the angle.
They teach
they
you that
do.
in school. Okay, so going in, second period was very boring. Third period, a little more intensity. And then we got to overtime. And then we were in overtime very shortly.
Yes, we can play the whole overtime for you right now.
It's Kane Keith. It used to be the threesome that started every overtime. That's changed the last little while. They're out there to start this one, and Kane's got it, looking for Taves.
And he scores!
Hawks win! Jonathan Taves from Patrick Kane!
Didn't think that it would have went that way, considering how the last overtime went. I don't know if you can show that too, but all I remember is Nathan McKinnon busting down the wing.
Yes.
Just firing a home past Crawford. At least
we'll
I think
we'll try and get that too. When was that game?
A while back.
That's helpful.
I think when the Hawks were actually possibly in a playoff position.
Okay, so that was a long time ago.
I think Crawford was in that, to be honest. But yeah, so good game. What did you notice about the Hawks being in person?
They're not as bad as they look on TV.
Is there a specific player that doesn't look too bad?
Yes. Brent Seabrook.
Brent Seabrook does not look that bad. Or he just had a really good game. He doesn't look that bad in person.
It's a lot different watching it in person, especially because we were sitting on the end of the ice. Mm-hmm. So normally you're watching it from the side.
Yes.
You're watching it like a soccer game. If you're like EA Sports sitting on the end, you get a whole different perspective of what's going on.
Yeah, you're able to see breakout passes, line changes, open ice.
Plays develop. I really like sitting up in the 300 level in the United Center because you can see everything that is going on. Mm-hmm. So you can see all the plays develop. You can see everything and what the players' thought processes are in doing things, which you don't get when you're watching it on TV.
Yeah. Brent Seabrook just seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. But I don't want to say other than that because that's kind of a bad spot to be. But I mean, in terms of everything else, his foot speed didn't look that bad when he has time.
The key words there, when he has time.
Yeah, his passing, his just the ability to make plays when they're there and sometimes when they're not there, just making the smart play. He's not a bad player. I didn't see a huge difference between him and Eric Gustafsson or him and Jordan Osterley. Other than Jordan Osterley, he jumps into play a little bit more than Seabrook. But I mean, he had a good game, I thought.
Yes.
So I mean, nothing really to complain there about with him. The thing I noticed is the Hawks' drop passes are to nowhere. They have no idea where the puck is going. They'll literally skate up the ice on the power play or be whatever, and they'll just drop it back, assuming that the player is there. I saw that multiple times. I think Yurko had a pass that was in the middle of the ice that just no one was there. He just kind of assumed that someone would be behind him. Even with the drop pass, because they were skating towards us, I saw the drop pass, and Kane was kind of over on the right, and I think Keith was going this way, and he dropped it, and then you see Kane oh, that's really far out, and go back this way and go get the puck. I'm like, don't they have any idea of hey, I'm going to skate this way, I'm going to drop it right here, I'm going to go. I mean, I haven't really played hockey too often or too much, but do you go over that? Is there a certain
there are
setup?
There are set plays that you do when breaking out. You crisscross 3-man weave, just like in basketball, 3-man weave.
Globetrotters.
Harlem Globetrotters. But you need to know that the guy is there before you're starting to. You can't just assume anything.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're playing against guys with talent levels that are just like Nathan McKinnon and like Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby. And you have to be perfect with all your passes. So if you're passing to no one, you're turning the puck over.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. So they need to clean up their, not even set plays, just their passing in general, is what that falls under.
Mm-hmm.
Like the drop passes and such.
Okay. I guess there's a couple more things we can get into before we're all done. You want to talk about the newest re-signing with the Blackhawks?
Oh my goodness, yes. So, the Blackhawks decided that it was a good idea to re-sign Jan Rutta for $2.25 million for 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just pause and think about that for a second. So we just signed Eric Gustafsson to a $1.2 million contract, which we thought was absurd.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we have Jan Rutta getting $2.25 million.
You want how many games has he played in the NHL? You have the stats.
He has played 43 games this year.
Yes.
43 games. He has 6 goals, 13 assists.
43 games in his NHL career. This is his first year.
This is his first year. He's a -3. He has 6 goals, 13 assists. You know, he's sitting at 18 points over 43 games.
It's not on. That's actually good math. That wasn't on here.
I know. I can add 13 plus 6.
Good. All
very,
right.
very good. This year, well, that's for next year, his contract. But for this year, he's getting
nothing. Like $800,000.
800,000.
800,000. Just round down.
Base salary 832,000. Right.
Yes.
Base salary for next year
goes up to 2.25.
It's over double that. Almost double. It's double and a half of that.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Stan Bowman? What are you doing?
All right.
Oh
All
my gosh.
Okay. Here's what I see with Jan Rutta. At one point in this year, he and Gustav Forsling were hands down the best defensive pairing we had.
Yes.
So bringing him back, I don't see as a downside. For the money, it's brutal. You could have signed him for... I would be happy with him for 1.2 because he's a better player than Eric Gustafsson. Eric Gustafsson, he's been in the NHL, went back to the minors for forever, came back up. He's doing all right. I don't see the same player as Jan Rutta and Gustafsson, so to give him 2.25, I don't get it. So you think you have 3.5 million, let's round up.
Okay.
In 2 players that arguably you can just find for dirt cheap. What Michael Kempny?
Michael Kempny.
What is he? He makes like $800,000. Do you see a difference between Michael Kempny and the other 2 guys we were talking about?
No.
Then why do you need to sign him for that much?
I don't know.
Okay.
Again, I think he when he started his game of general manager, he forgot he turned the salary cap off, so he just does whatever the heck he wants.
He just gives out the, hey, you know what? Thanks for playing for the Hawks. We really appreciate what you're doing. Let me just toss another $500,000, and let me toss out no trade. You do the Oprah Winfrey. You get a trade clause. You get a trade clause. You get a trade clause. What is it? I don't. It's too much. I don't understand the deal. Glad that he's back because he's a better defenseman than most of the guys we have on the roster. But money's too much. Term is fine. It's 1 year. Whatever. See what he's got. He's 27 years old. Pair him up with Gustav Forsling again maybe next year. And you see what you have. But the scary thing is this brutal defensive core, they're all coming back next year, I believe. I think Jordan Orsley is on a 2-year deal. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
what are we doing?
That's the bad. I don't know. I read it. I read an article. I don't know.
Yeah, Jordan Orsley is done in 2-year deal.
Okay. The other thing with the trades is just the tossing guys. I know we talked about this last time, I think. But it's like Teravainen would look really good in the Blackhawks right now. Steven Johns, though not a great defender, would still look pretty darn good in a Hawks jersey. It's just those guys that you toss in deals that go back to really bite you in the end. Teravainen would be second on the Hawks in points.
What about Panarin?
I'm not going to talk about that. But it's hard. It's still hard for me to watch highlights of him in Columbus. Though I watch them, they always.
He's ridiculous.
They make
too.
me sad. I've never. It's
we
hard.
can flash some up there right now. But...
Don't. I don't want to see him.
Okay.
I'm gonna look this way if you're watching it. Very sad. Stop it, Logan. But like there's no way to find another comparable to Patrick Kane. He is the same exact player, just right-handed, and you just got rid of him.
Speaking of players like Patrick Kane, I did just go to the Wolves-Rockford game, and there was a guy there named Anthony Lewis. I'm sure you've heard his name before. He's an Illinois guy.
You're pretty high on him.
I am very high on him. He skates exactly like Patrick Kane used to skate.
All right, so you have Anthony Lewis. My guy is Alex Fortin.
Okay.
14. Lightning speed. They signed him last year to a contract being an undrafted guy based on how he played in the preseason. Unbelievable speed. He had great point totals. I think he had like 8 points in the 6 preseason games. This close to making the roster. I thought he was going to make it because you can play the first 10 games in the NHL without burning your deal or your first year of the contract.
Right.
They didn't even give him a shot. And I thought if you would have put him on that roster, the way he was playing, he probably could develop. He probably could have been a top 6 forward, just the way how he was playing or whatever. But he's not. He's in Rockford now. I hope one day he gets the shot because he seemed like a really good player.
Yeah, and I mean, same with Anthony Lewis. He's ridiculously fast. His hands and his just vision of the ice is great. He has 34 points in 56 games with Rockford. Mm-hmm. He's just a solid offensive-minded player, which I know the Hawks have enough of those already, Patrick Kane. And
if there's one guy I want on this roster is Dylan Sikura.
Yes.
If they can sign him, because it sounds like there's a possibility he might go with the college free agent route, which would stink. But it sounds like based on how they've treated him and the way he allowed for his own development, it sounds like he's leaning towards signing to the Hawks. We don't know, but I mean, there's one highlight from the training camp that I want you to flash up here.
Okay, well,
just absolutely goes end to end, gets past one guy, does like a toe drag, and almost scores. But the move itself is fantastic. Right now he's got 52 points in 33 games in Northeastern. One of the highest point totals right now in college hockey. His teammate, I know, is a draftee of the Vancouver Canucks. Just as good a player. But I mean, if your center core went Taves, Schmaltz, Sikura, I mean that's solid. It's really good. And then you would have to trade Anisimov. You get something back for him. Hopefully a defenseman. You could be looking a lot. You could look like a lot better of a team based on that.
Yes.
So I don't know. Hopefully we just have to wait and see. So
hopefully.
Are we gonna do our end of the
episode
draft
simulator?
Okay. Who you got? Who you gonna pick? Who are you gonna be top 3?
Oh gosh, Arizona.
All right. So you got right now Arizona, Buffalo, Vancouver, Ottawa, and Montreal as your top 5.
Okay.
I'm saying it's going to be Calgary.
Okay.
Followed by Ottawa, and then Edmonton.
Okay.
All right, that's going to be my 3.
Okay.
What are your 3?
Okay. Arizona, Edmonton, and Buffalo.
All right. And with the first overall pick in the NHL draft, it belongs to Buffalo Sabres. All right. We did not have them. Second overall pick goes to New York Rangers.
Ooh.
All right. And the third overall pick goes to Montreal Canadiens. So I'll screenshot that. Oh, one thing I forgot to get into. Brad Marchand is a dirty player.
Oh my goodness.
He should be suspended for that.
That was ridiculous. I mean, okay, first of all, Eddie Olczyk has to go and say, "Oh, that's unavoidable contact." Really?
Okay.
Really?
Okay. All right. It is unavoidable.
Well, when you stick your arm out.
Okay, that's not how you avoid it, though. Jumping and then clotheslining him in the face. You could just, okay, you bump into him. That's different. The way he did it, though, makes it look like he was headhunting there.
It was ridiculous.
That's a dirty play.
And the fact that they didn't even,
suspend him
or have a hearing.
No fine, no nothing.
No anything. That's, I mean.
And then the best part. The Hawks have a back-to-back. He has an upper body injury for that game. And then, today, a day after the game, his upper body injury has healed.
Magically.
John Hayden would have beat the crap out of him. Somebody, Jonathan Taves, he's a grinder now because they traded all their grinders. He fought Ryan Kessler.
Well, John Hayden's the only one. I mean, yeah.
And he's got that flow. So glad they called him up. But dirty play. I thought it should have been suspended. Terrible. He's a dirty player. No.
There's no room in hockey for that.
Thank you.
So, there just isn't.
On that beautiful note, I think that ends the episode.
I think so.
So, till next time, if you enjoy the content, I guess you could subscribe.
Smash that like button!
Yeah, turn on those notifications, because that's what people say, for more content moving forward, get updates. And
we're trying to do it at least once a week.
Yeah.
Hopefully twice a week.
Yes.
So
it's tough with school and
bowling.
I'm not gonna say travel because you live right down the street from me.
Yeah.
But
all right.
We're trying to crank them out.
Yeah.
Get some more content out for you guys. So hope you enjoy, and we'll see you
Peace
on
out.
the next one.